We are here today learning how to make a knit stitch. So you will see in my left hand, I have my needle with 10 cast on stitches. My cast on stitches are not too tight. They are not too loose. They're just right. If you do not know how to cast on, I encourage you to watch our video about casting on so that you can get started. So here in my left hand, I have my cast on stitches. Something to watch is this tail. Make sure you keep that tail out of the way so that you don't knit it into your work, which I have done and I have had students do. So that's something you want to be aware of. In my right hand, you will see I have my needle, my empty needle, okay? Now, the next thing that you will want to pay attention to is how you carry the yarn. So traditionally, people are most often taught how to carry with their right hand. So you want to put that yarn from the ball over your pointer finger on your right hand, okay? And you can lace it between your fingers over your pinky, and that is a pretty normal carry. You can also carry the yarn with your left hand. I find that it's a little faster that way, but for some people, a left hand carry is not quite as easy. So it is what you are comfortable with. When I teach, I usually teach with my right hand carrying. When I do my own knitting, I usually knit with my left hand. So that is up to you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show you how to knit with your right hand carry. You are going to take that empty needle and you are going to go under that first stitch on your needle, okay? Now, my empty needle is in back. My needle with my cast on stitches are in front. Now what I need to do is I need to take this yarn that I am carrying with my right hand and go around that back needle, okay? Then I'm going to pull that back needle back and I'm going to grab that yarn that I just wrapped around. I'm going to pull that first stitch off, okay? So if you notice, I used my finger to push that needle back. When you get better at it, you probably won't do that, but it does help when you're learning so that you can feel where that needle is supposed to go. So I'm going to do another one. Same thing, I go under, oops, under, okay, around that back needle, forward and off, okay, under, around, then back and off, under, around, go back, make sure you catch the yarn, and off, okay? So I'm going to do that all the way to the end, under, around, back, and off, okay? So we're going to go, I'm going to show you all the way to the end of the row. And a couple things to watch, make sure that your work isn't bunched up or you won't be able to work it as easy. You want to make sure that when you are doing this, you're not wrapping too tightly. You don't want your work too tight because then it makes it hard to work with. So good tension, make sure those stitches move along the length of that needle. And then you just keep going until you reach the end, okay? So I have now made my first row of knitting. So what I will do now is I will go back and I will do the same thing all over again, okay? So I'm going to take that needle with my stitches. It was originally my empty needle, now it's my full needle. So since it's my full needle, it's going to go into my left hand. And I will do the same thing again. So behind, around, over. I just carried with my left hand, so now you see what that looks like. Behind, around, down, over. Okay. And you're just going to keep doing that until you get to the end. Okay. And eventually, as you get used to doing this, you get into a rhythm and it gets much easier. Okay, so I now have 2 rows on my needle. And I'm just going to do the same thing just like I did. I'm going to put that needle with my stitches in my left hand. I'm going to use the empty needle in my right hand, and we're going to do it all over again until you are done and your piece measures whatever you need it to measure, or how many ever rows you need to go. So that is our knit stitch.